Jared Leto, Oscar-winning actor, rock star frontman, notorious method actor who pushes roles beyond the limit, and a celebrity who once openly battled severe drug addiction.
You know, I grew up in an environment where, you know, there were drugs around. I mean, I knew what the smell of weed is, you know, as a very, very young kid. I mean,
On the surface, he's everything Hollywood worships. Talented, charismatic, daring. But what happens when the mask slips? And the truth Hollywood can't just brush under the red carpet comes out. Allegations are piling up, painting a disturbing image of a superstar whose most controversial role might just be his real-life persona. How did Jared Leto go from method acting genius to potentially career-ending scandal? It's time to rewind. To truly understand the allegations that could derail Jared Leto's celebrated career, we first need to understand how he became one of Hollywood's most admired and controversial figures. Jared Leto has always lived his life on the edge, whether it's starving himself down to a skeletal 114 pounds for Dallas Buyers Club or terrorizing his co-stars by sending them weird gifts like anal beads, used condoms.
Where did that come from?
Don't forget the anal beads,
Who did you send anal beads to?
the used condoms.
Did not.
Yeah.
Sticky Playboy magazines, dead rats on the set of Suicide Squad. Leto's method acting has really brought him a lot of praise, but also some pretty strong criticism. His extreme methods paid off big time. In 2014, Leto bagged the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his haunting portrayal of Rayon, a transgender AIDS patient in Dallas Buyers Club. Overnight, he went from respected indie actor to certified Hollywood royalty. But Leto's success wasn't confined to acting. With his rock band, 30 Seconds to Mars, he amassed a cult-like following that blurred the lines between fandom and worship. Fans, often called the echelon, flocked in droves, with some even tattooing Leto's lyrics on their bodies, cementing his charismatic, almost religious-like influence over young people worldwide. But as Jared's star ascended, whispers and rumors began surfacing. Some said his interactions with fans, particularly young female fans, raised red flags. Yet, for years, these murmurs stayed quietly tucked in Hollywood's dark corners, until social media changed the game. In 2018, Twitter exploded when actor Dylan Sprouse tweeted, "Yo, at Jared Leto. Now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is?" James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, replied swiftly, "He starts at 18 on the internet." After this exchange, the internet went wild, and old accusations resurfaced. Sprouse and Gunn's unclear tweets seemed to confirm unsettling long-standing claims against Leto that he went after underage girls, particularly when his band was most popular in the early 2000s. Fans began recalling uncomfortable experiences at shows, moments they previously brushed aside. Multiple anonymous posts described backstage incidents, alleging inappropriate behaviors by Leto toward underage fans. One of his fans posted on Reddit and said, "This is a shock to no one. Was an open secret back when I lived in LA in the early 2010s. Had more than one friend who has gross or pervy first-hand stories about him." Of course, he denies the allegations. He was denying even knowing people via text until they made it clear they weren't coming after him for anything and just reconnecting. He's always been a weird-ass bullshit artist. Another fan replied under it and said, "Yep, Sunset Strip in LA. He would play in 30 Seconds to Mars and point to girls he wanted to have sex with." Unfortunately, a lot of this was happening 2004 to 2010 in the California scene. Later on, more specific accusations surfaced. For Jared, who'd spent decades meticulously crafting a persona as Hollywood's quirky method acting darling, these allegations were more than just a PR nightmare. They threatened the very foundation of his career. But how much of these allegations were smoke and how much was fire? To understand that, we need to dive deeper into specific claims, victim testimonies, and Hollywood's reaction, which might just seal Jared Leto's fate. So, Jared Leto's alleged misconduct? It wasn't exactly news. These accusations had been floating around Hollywood for ages. celebrities. But they really blew up and got everyone's attention thanks to social media and the #MeToo movement. Ellen DeGeneres invited Jared Leto and Drake to her The Ellen Show. They played a game called Never Have I Ever. She asked Jared Leto and Drake, "Never have I ever hooked up with a fan on tour?" Which Jared answered, "I have."
Never have I ever hooked up with a fan on tour. Really?
Leaving me.
Yeah.
That's what to say.
I know.
It's having me out there.
All right.
In June 2025, Yahoo News reported that at least 9 women had come forward with allegations of inappropriate conduct against Jared Leto. Some detailed interactions dating back to his band's tours in the early 2000s, while others were disturbingly recent. Ali Tellis, one of the women whose accusations led to many similar claims against Jared Leto, said the actor assaulted and traumatized her at a 2012 event. "You are not really in LA until Jared Leto tries to force himself on you backstage, in a kilt and a snow hat," said Tellis in a 2012 Facebook post, which she recently reshared. The 31-year-old American DJ, music producer, and model, who claims she was 17 at the time, also captioned the post with a statement to double down on her allegations. Throwback to 2012, Jared Leto was a creep then, still a creep now, going on 15+ years of being Hollywood's most persistent predator in a kilt. Leto's actions were described by Tellis as predatory, terrifying, and unacceptable. Even after she informed him she was a minor. A second woman, whose name was not revealed, told the publication that Leto approached her in 2006 when she was 16 at Earth Cafe in Los Angeles. At the time, he was allegedly visiting the popular cafe with Ashley Olsen, whom he had been rumored to be in a relationship with at the time. "I looked down and it was Jared Leto. We had a quick conversation and he got my number," she claimed. The woman alleged that he called her days later, adding, "I don't know if he was on drugs or what. It was the weirdest, grossest voice. But for me, it's Jared, you know?" The woman alleged their late-night conversations turned sexual, and she claimed that Leto asked questions including, "Have you ever had a boyfriend?" and "Have you ever sucked D before?" Model Laura LaRue, 33, also alleged that she met Leto in 2008 when she was 16 and he was 36, at a yes on Prop to animal rights benefit. "He asked how old I was," she alleged. "I said, I'm 16. How old are you?" LaRue told Airmail that Leto, despite knowing her age, requested her number and later invited her to his Los Angeles home. She alleged he was flirting and teasing her the whole time she was there. She further claimed that Leto entered a room she was in, completely naked at one point, acting as if it was normal. LaRue recalled thinking maybe this was just what adult men do. Leto's team told Airmail that all the women's claims were false. They said their messages weren't sexual or inappropriate at all. Ms. LaRue even applied to be Mr. Leto's personal assistant later, but LaRue herself said she never applied for that job. She said they hooked up a little while still at the club, and she alleged that she subsequently spent time at his home on multiple occasions, but she described Leto as being weird. "I know some people are kinky and that's fine," she said, before adding that his kind of kink just didn't feel right. Sources described parties at Leto's Los Angeles home and said they had a ratio of 60 very young women to 4 or 5 men, and they claimed that guests were encouraged to go skinny dipping at the events. Another unnamed accuser said she began a flirtatious back and forth over text messages with Leto when she was still a minor. During her alleged visits to his home, he would ask her sexual questions, including, "Do any of the little boys you hang out with fuck you?" She said the relationship escalated after she turned 18, and Leto allegedly pulled his little man between his legs out and started playing with it during a subsequent visit to his home. She claimed that the Blade Runner 2049 actor put her hand on his little man between his legs and told her, "I want you to spit on it." In 2016, Leto was reported to have sent his Suicide Squad co-stars used condoms as a gift that might have been sent by his character in the film, the Joker. But Leto subsequently denied that part of the report in a 2017 SiriusXM interview. There were some things that were mentioned about gifts and the fact that I was giving used condoms to people, which was not true.
What exactly did people get wrong about the Joker?
I mean, I just think that there were some things, that were mentioned about like gifts and the fact that I was giving used condoms to people, which was not true.
We can say that right now. That
it
is not true.
It was not true. And what are you going to do at that moment? You can't even, it doesn't matter how loud you shout or hold up a sign, with your pants off in Times Square. People are going to go with the story that they want to run.
Right.
It was not true, he said. During his interview with the red carpet and award shows, Mark Marquine asked Jared Leto about the gifts he was sending to his Suicide Squad co-star. He literally said in the interview he sent used condoms to the Suicide co-star.
Where did that come from?
Don't forget the anal beads.
Who did you send anal beads to?
The used condoms.
You did not.
Yeah.
However, the actor did admit to sending them gifts that were funny, absurd, or outrageous. In a 2016 interview with E! Online, his co-star Adewale Akinnuoye-Agbaje, who played Killer Croc, said that Leto had sent him sticky Playboy magazines as part of his character's gift, and he also allegedly sent the entire cast a dead pig.
He sent used condoms and
Anal beads, is that?
sticky Playboy magazines. I mean, it just wasn't right. If you're going to have that kind of party, at least invite the croc. You know what I mean? Don't send me your dirty leftovers.
That was a good gift because it had the effect of unifying us as a group, because then it turned us against him, Akinnuoye-Agbaje said. We sent the messenger back with the dead pig and our own personalized message. It got the ball rolling. Jared Leto categorically denied all allegations through his legal team. No criminal charges have ever been filed. Nonetheless, the intensity of the backlash was swift and severe. At the same time, fans of 30 Seconds to Mars, once fiercely loyal, became deeply conflicted. Some aggressively defended Leto online, dismissing allegations as baseless attacks. Others felt betrayed, publicly renouncing their fandom and sharing personal discomfort with past experiences at concerts or meet and greets. Then another troubling twist emerged. Jared's infamous cult-like retreats with his band, Mars Island, came under scrutiny. Marketed as an intimate experience for fans, these retreats allegedly fostered environments ripe for potential exploitation. Attendees paid thousands to spend close personal time with Jared, raising further eyebrows given the emerging allegations. In response, Jared Leto largely retreated from public view, limiting appearances and tightly controlling his interactions with the media. His Instagram posts became sparse, carefully curated, and comment sections often disabled or moderated heavily. Hollywood, notoriously protective of its stars until proven otherwise, quietly paused several major projects involving Jared. Insider reports confirm producers expressing fear of potential fallout should these accusations escalate or gain credible proof. Despite his Oscar, despite decades of critically acclaimed roles, despite an enormous fan base built over a lifetime, Jared Leto was quickly becoming a liability Hollywood couldn't afford. Yet, through all this, no concrete proof ever emerged. No accusers stepped fully into the public spotlight. No lawsuits materialized. For some, this raised questions of credibility. Were these coordinated attacks or genuine cries for accountability? But in Hollywood's court of public opinion, often the verdict comes before the trial. Jared Leto, once Hollywood's quirky yet beloved method acting genius, now faced the harsh reality of his legacy being permanently tainted. This wasn't just about allegations. This was about trust, image, and the precarious nature of fame itself. And now, with his career hanging by a thread, one critical question remained unanswered. Would Jared Leto's alleged past finally catch up with him, ending a career decades in the making? Or could he somehow survive the storm? To answer that, we must look at how other Hollywood scandals unfolded, comparing Leto's path to those who faced similar accusations, and what, if anything, he can do to save his legacy.